But 36 minutes would be from about here, which is the beginning of Maddock, from Harvest Lane to Robinwood, just before we get to the Greek on the street. So tomorrow, remind me, what are you doing?
Going to
Vancouver?
Tsawwassen.
Is that where the surgery is?
Yeah. Tsawwassen Commons.
I thought it was in Delta, but I guess it's close.
Oh, it is Delta.
Uh-huh. And where does Ladner come in? Is that just a suburb? I thought that whole stretch was reserve land.
What?
I thought that was First Nations land.
It is. It's on to. Thinking that everybody's going to come there. But there's not all that much that people want to go there for that you, like, why would you leave Vancouver to go there?
Unless you lived on the reserve.
Yeah, but that's not a big market.
Maybe that's where they got their demographic wrong. They
Well,
figure there's
they-
hundreds of people living very close by.
They will
there.
eventually make it, but it's more a summertime thing, so you could stop because it's near the water slides.
Yeah. But the way the underground and the SkyTrain system works in Vancouver, it's like
There's no SkyTrain there, only the bus.
only the bus, but
But
people on the reserve, they can quite quickly get into downtown Vancouver.
apparently they have a free shuttle that goes from the ferry to there, but they don't have it in January, except on the weekends. So I can't take the free shuttle. Because that's what the assistant told me to do. She said, oh, there's always a free shuttle. Just take that. It goes right to our place.
Okay. So you're going to have gum surgery?
What?
Are you going to have gum surgery?
Well,
or?
just a consult.
Okay.
I don't want the one where they use the knives. I'd rather have the one where they use the laser.
But aren't they going to do that today, tomorrow?
No, they're just going to give me a consult
Oh, I see.
if I'm a candidate for it.
They have to see if you're suitable.
Yeah. And they have to take those whatever they call them, x-rays, you know? 'Cause they want
Panoramic.
Yeah. They want to see where the jawbone.
Zone 3.
And the gum line and all that sort of business, and the dentine.
The point of doing it is to not lose any more bone. And in fact, the laser surgery has been shown to regrow bone, whereas the hacking of your thing doesn't.
It traumatizes the...
Yeah, and you have a lot
gum.
longer recovery, and you have to have a liquid diet, and you have to have antibiotics.
Well, Zion was telling me, almost with pride, that he seldom brushes his teeth. I don't know if he inherited good dentine from me. Hello.
Yeah. He'll be fine till he gets older.
Well, luckily he doesn't smoke or drink.
Yeah, but he eats enough sugar
He
too.
eats enough sugar.
Not as much as Carlos maybe, but... And actually not very much. I don't know how much he eats when he's outside, but...
Well, I suspect that sometimes when he goes on his walk, he pulls into Tim Hortons for an ice cap.
Yeah, but
That's like his treat.
that's not every time.
Well, this is new. They put that gravel that we saw. Remember that big pile of gravel?
Yeah.
They put it here.
I've been taken along.
This used to be just mud. Now it's pea gravel. Yep. We would have been dodging puddles by now. Hello.
Hi.
I just got a zone 4. Must have been seeing that girl.
Now your heart rate.
Her
Oh,
heart rate suddenly started
a
something.
young lady.
A young woman in the bushes. Whitaker. Yep, there's the pile. Gone. There it was, gone. Zone 3. My heart is behaving itself today, finally.
Well, you're treating it how it likes to be treated.
Maybe.
Not pushing it when it's saying no.
But the initial shock of doing a whole week of no running, I think I overdid it on Sunday and ran sub 7-minute Ks.
Yeah, not really recommended.
Well, I made the mistake of not having the heart rate zone change.
Yeah, but you know that.
I know that, but
You just keep doing it.
I just didn't want to bug the few listeners that I have with
Doesn't
Samantha
matter.
telling me my heart rate and me talking back to the poor girl. Because if they're interested in that, maybe they are. Maybe they're interested in hearing me for a long time, running for the rest of my days. I did get 600
In which
minutes.
case, they would be interested to know that you are protecting your heart by not pushing it.
I think I did get from Spreaker, I got some sort of grandfathered clause that gave me so many 100 minutes of
Free.
podcast space.
Go for it.
Well, I think I'm halfway through.
Yeah.
I used to think it's going to last me a lifetime, but
Doesn't.
it doesn't. And I'll just have to start deleting episodes that either didn't turn out so well or...
Yeah, well, 6.5 hours a week is 16 weeks.
Yeah, but that would be continuous listening.
No, continuous show making.
Yep.
Time 30 minutes. Distance 2.37 kilometers. Average heart rate 124. Workout average pace 8 minutes 25 seconds per kilometer. Time for hydration. Zone 2.
Oh man, are you okay?
Yeah. Dirty.
Yeah, take your glasses.
Don't pull me up.
Alright. That's the shock that's all.
No, it's not the show. Just,
Are you glad or not?
no. I did a flying fall, not a...
That's where you tripped.
Yeah.
And this one, you could see that when you flew to there.
Yeah.
It's like crash scene investigators.
It is.
That's your crash scene was there.
Workout
Yep. Just when everything was going so well.
Yeah. Well, what happens when I don't do that one? I don't like looking down. I see someone.
Well, I fell last week on my thumb, and that was pretty traumatic.
Yeah, well, you're right.
Yeah. I don't think I've healed up from that yet. I've still got a bruise, and I still got some pain.
You're not healed then.
Zone 3.
No, I'm not fully healed, but
It should be painless when you heal.
yeah. Having watched all those archaeology shows about the ancient Vikings, you know, they talk about people who've had axes in their heads and
Yeah.
have survived because they could see the bone growing back.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that I'll have a deformed thumb, but deformed,
Yeah.
but it'll be fully functional in a week.
Well, most of mine are fractured.
Yeah.
Just means that I can't touch my wrist with my thumbs.
I I know that if you break a rib, they normally just say, well, wear a strap bandage around your chest.
Same with the finger.
Same with the finger, yeah. They're not really going to do anything particularly aggressive.
No, because they don't really want to immobilize you.
No, because then they have to remobilize you afterwards.
Yeah, things shorten and it's tougher.
So, we're still on Whitaker, running beside Cedar Hill Road. This little section now becomes Cordova Bay Road. I don't remember seeing this one down, but it looks pretty old.
Yeah, it's rotted here.
Probably just got knocked back a bit. The rut got knocked back. Yep. Well, tomorrow I'll definitely hike. I'll probably do a summit hike.
Yeah, well, I'm going to hike from Highway 17 to Salish Sea something or other.
Yeah.
And Canoe Pass.
I was thinking I could come in with you almost. Zaren's going to be at work.
Yeah.
What am I going to be doing? Drinking beer all day?
Come.
Unsupervised? Talking of drinking beer all day, I heard about an eminent microbiologist that is working in Kenya on the viruses and things like that. And it was a pretty stressful job that he had, and he was drinking whiskey every night to get over his stress of the day.
Yeah.
And he developed, an alcohol abuse problem, which was beginning to affect his...
Looks like a new thing.
Yeah, it was beginning to affect his science. And, he was still, his career was on the upward trend.
Yeah.
And...
You're allowed to live your life.
Exactly, but what he said was that he was putting himself up for cranial brain implant.
The stimulations?
Yes, deep brain stimulation for targeting his pleasure zone to try and make alcohol less important in his pleasure receptors.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's
They
probably...
don't care what hits them.
No, they just want to feel good.
Yeah.
And he said that even though the trial has only been going for a few months, he's noticed he's feeling...
less?
Well, he's
Even
still
if it's-
drinking. He's not given up drinking. He's not doing anything.
No, but he's not.
He's not binging because he doesn't need to
To
binge.
right. And it's like everything. You start with the right amount of alcohol, but
Very soon it becomes
your
not
tolerance-
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you have to binge to get the same dopamine release.
Heart rate 124. Workout average pace 8 minutes 27 seconds per kilometer.
Yeah, well, we're still on pace as usual here. 8 minutes 20 something here, and then with a downhill coming up. And then it gets back to around 8 minutes when we hit Robinwood. And then it's up to us whether we keep it at 8 or let it drift to 8:20, which is normally what we do. But I'm anticipating my heart zone change. Instead of waiting for it to say zone 4.
Yeah. You feel it.
Yep. I think what it is resting my legs for a week gave them that extra pep on Sunday. But my heart was still tired.
Yeah.
Go for it. This is the sort of hill I don't want to do. I'll catch up with you at the top. Yep, she does the high impact training, interval training. I am being advised not to do anything like that. So if what you're doing is high intensity interval training, what I should be doing is low intensity interval training. No? Just do what I'm doing? Just carry on, soldiering on.
Yeah, that's endurance.
I guess so.
It makes for endurance. Okay. But my endurance has increased.
Once back in the day when I was more competitive, I thought these 6-day events don't seem too difficult. You do 30 miles a day for 6 days and you get a trophy, you get on the podium.
But cumulative fatigue.
Well, I know I don't do 30K a day or 30 miles a day, but a marathon a day for a week, I used to be able to do that. A low intensity, 6-hour marathon. But, my body wouldn't survive now because of the wear and tear of a 6-hour run every day.
Exactly.
I mean, Al Howie was doing 10-hour runs every day for 100 days.
Yeah, look what happened to him.
Yeah. He blew out his immune system. Thank you. They don't mind stopping, they just don't like having to stop on a dime. So we now got your favorite section. Do you still have any aches and pains from your fall?
Yeah, my
Wrist?
toe.
Your
Toe.
toe.
My wrist is fine because I did this.
Were you holding your sunglasses in your hand?
Yeah.
That probably saved your fingers.
Well, from before and from your thumb, I said next time I fall, I'm going to make fists. I'm not going to have any fingers sticking out.
Well, I ran with my fists closed, so it must have been just a response to falling.
Yeah.
I opened up my hand to stop me slipping.
But it's like anything else, you have to have sort of like thought about it before.
Yeah, and it's
When
like
this happens, then I'm going to do that.
hindsight is 2020,
I know, but then you're prepared for the next time.
possibly, yeah. But look at that. They've stacked all the scrap wood around that tree.
Yeah, the kids were climbing it the other day.
They've made a lean-to. They made a little shelter out of it.
Time 30 minutes. 3.38 kilometers. Average heart rate 131. Workout average pace 8 minutes 32 seconds per kilometer.
8:22. Well, I'm happy that my heart isn't yo-yoing like it normally does. Or it has been of late.
Yeah.
I think it might have something to do with swelling of the knees, constricting the blood flow in my knee joint, which puts the pressure on the system. Anti-inflammatory would bring down the knee swelling
Yeah, and the thumb swelling.
and the thumb swelling, but I'm so averse to taking ibuprofen that
Yeah, but you don't have to take a million. You take one and you see if it gives you any relief. If it doesn't, you don't take any more.
well, I'm sure it would, but it's like reverting to
It's like reverting to an ice pack. You wouldn't do that either.
one.
See, and that's not medical,
I know it's not medical,
not
but
harmful.
I figured that, I should be able to deal with
But you're not helping your body. You're making your body struggle.
fair wear and tear kind of thing.
Well, that's all that it needs to be born.
Unfair wear and tear. Or unreasonable, unnecessary wear and tear. That's what I'm trying to avoid.
Yeah, you want to do some.
I want to do everything, but in moderation. I want to ride my bike. I want to hike like a madman.
But you want to have it so that your next day you can recover.
Yeah.
See, the
Well, the kids are in full swing. Even in the woods, it sounds like a school playground.
That's the pitch of the voices.
Yeah. And the
Adults don't sound like that.
the adults are going, woo! Woo! And the kids are all screaming a few octaves higher. So I would have thought that Bartlett would have sent a bill to John by now. He might be looking at it and sending it on to his insurance agent.
Yeah.
I still don't understand how it works. If our tree had fallen on his car, would he claim against his insurance for the repair of his car? Or would he claim against our insurance for the repair of his car?
I don't know.
Because it's all to do with the no claims bonus and the...
I know, but you have to be on a public street.
That would be through ICBC kind of thing.
ICBC's public street.
Yeah. So anything that happens on private land
Is
is a private issue between the parties concerned.
Yeah, and usually that would be your own property damage. Like I could claim my...
Well, we could claim the tree. The tree was damaged. What's that worth? We lost a tree.
Oh, I didn't tell you. Yesterday when I went out, I forget that I went out for groceries or something. A sandwich truck was coming up towards us.
Yeah.
So I just slowed down and they turned up around the circle. And, oh no, they're looking at the tree.
Maybe.
But they weren't. They were lost. They just turned around the circle and went out and followed me
Oh,
to
okay.
University Heights. Because if I was really nasty, I could phone Sandwich and say, somebody chopped the tree down at Gary Oak.
And then they'll have to investigate.
Yeah.
And then they would
Because
say,
when you look at the stump, there's not a centimeter of rot.
no, it's just the roots were rotted.
Maybe
The tree
not.
wasn't rotted.
Could be just, gale force winds do that.
Yeah, it blew your green. Greenhouse way out of the ballpark. Your little greenhouse ended up behind the garage.
Yeah.
It must have flown.
We're going to get round the corner.
The wind was coming from that side. That's why the tree blew over on his
I
house.
know, but it was going at 90 degrees to the
It would have been having to sneak around.
corner.
Yeah. It might have just caught the wind at the top and
I
flipped
think it
it.
blew to the corner and then another wind. This way, we better move it.
Well, if I remember rightly, the chronology of the tree was he came and knocked on the door saying the tree is hitting the house. And then it moved some more.
Yeah, when I went out to take pictures of it,
It wasn't
moved.
touching the house.
It was touching the house, but it moved down further, so I thought it was going to...
When did you take them? At night or in the morning?
11 at night.
Oh, I didn't see those pictures.
You can tell because they're
Take them with a flash?
speckledy.
Oh, okay. It's a
I took
pleasant
them with-
effect.
I took them with the light from my ongoing light.
Yeah.
I got that on and then I took the picture.
And then it moved some more because there was a second burst of wind about midnight that moved it some more. All right, so the last little bit is Douglas Creek Trail, then the Mushroom Colony, and then Robinwood and the Weir. So it won't be from the Weir to here, but it'll be from here to the Weir now. wonder if I could claim a broken thumb against my insurance.
What insurance?
Well, I slipped on a sunny sidewalk.
So it's not your insurance.
I should claim on
If that was
Sunday.
a public sidewalk,
Yeah.
you claim against damage.
If I had any sort of physiotherapy or
Yeah,
to buy a
it's the
splint.
same thing. They own the sidewalk. They're liable for what goes on in the sidewalk.
Okay. So we own
John
the,
owns the house.
we own the tree.
No, we don't own the tree.
It's on our property. That means we own it. Right?
No.
That's the issue, I think.
But I don't think you can necessarily claim for wind damage to your tree.
Well, you have to remove it from your property. Anyway, hopefully. Yeah, but hopefully by now the bill has been passed to whoever is expected to pay for it, and we haven't received it. So,
No, I told them not to send it.
no.
I walked over with my phone and I couldn't remember their numbers. And they're 1728.
But was it
And it-
Elizabeth or
What?
who came out?
Elizabeth was coming out to go somewhere with Taylor.
And you spoke
But she
to
was
her.
looking at, no, I didn't. I just was talking to the insurance agent on the phone.
Yeah.
I said, just a minute, I'm going to go and get the numbers for you.
That's right, because you came down and asked me what John's street number was, and I
Correct.
had no idea.
Well, it's 1728.
Okay.
So as far as I know, there is no 30.
Zone 2.
Well, zone 2, I should be running.
Zone 1.
You know, I think one of the reasons I was getting an inaccurate reading from my wrist, my heart strap, was that I had it on too tight.
Could be.
It was constricting the blood flow in the skin, so it wasn't being able to detect any movement of blood. Anyway, I got it looser today, and it's behaving itself, or my heart is behaving itself. One of the two is working correctly, and they both seem to
And
be...
nobody's ever said you've had AFib, right?
No, I don't think they have.
Because one of the guys that I see playing pickleball and talk to, he's got AFib.
Yeah.
And his friend was saying, oh, you're pushing it too much if you're up there. And I'm saying, those are extra beats from the atrium. You can't get a proper heart rate if you've got AFib, because you've got the atrial heartbeat out of sync
Yeah. So
with
you're
the
getting
heart.
a boom,
So it looks like there's
like
two beats
two instead of one. Yeah.
And so the guy I'm friends with said, oh, that's a relief.
Yeah, well, it could be. I mean, the doctor said the only thing he could see was that my heart looked as if there might be some stenosis.
Uh-huh.
He didn't say anything about afibrillation. But a lot of my running friends have had issues with AFib, and they've had, one or two of them have had stents inserted in their heart valves or in their heart blood vessels to help
Well,
the blood flow. But
That's a bit crazy because what the normal treatment is to kill the pacemaker and like heart tissue is naturally beating. But if something starts to beat, this one is interrupted, so it's run by whoever is the chief pacemaker.
yeah.
Well, the problem is that they get so much out of sync that it can contract before it receives the signal from the heart.
So you're working with the door trap then.
Yeah.
You're
And
pushing against the closed valve.
But
and then it's
otherwise,
opening
when
and
the
then
door is opening, it's like flushing a toilet. You can only flush it with certain intervals. So if you get the proper signal, you can't run your own signal.
I was more concerned about it. I think what he was is he
You
just
tell me about
yeah,
my glasses.
the dirt in your glasses. I think it's not grass. The doctor, he knew that Emma's a habitual runner.
Yeah, and
All he said was just don't get competitive and don't push the limits, because
Yeah.
if you want to enjoy running for the rest of your days,
slow down.
you have to.
He's
Partly because of
one
the
of the best doctors I've had.
Yeah, partly because of the wear and tear factor. As you get older, it takes
Yeah.
longer to recover from a hard
He was a
run.
military doctor.
He'd probably have to deal with very simple cases with very little equipment. So he got good at solving simple problems the simple way. He
But-
wouldn't say, okay, we'll put you down for surgery.
Or we'll give you 23 drugs.
Yeah.
This one to do that, this one to counteract the side effects of that, this one to counteract the side effects of that other drug that I
It's a bit like the spider and she swallowed the spider to catch the fly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like him. But as I say, I see him once every 6 years.
Yeah.
That's probably why he did that whole bank of tests,
Yeah.
because he didn't see me very often.
Now that I've got you, let's see where you are.
Yeah. Well, we're at the trailhead at Robinwood. So this is officially the end of this episode.
But
Bye-bye.
the other thing is that
What?
that ophthalmologist, no,
one?
optometrist that I went to in America,
Yeah.
he's more recently trained than Brian. And although Brian told me that, you know, when some other one told
Hang on
me,
a sec. Let me just stop this. Bye-bye.